The notification hit my Apple Watch at 11:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was standing in front of a glass whiteboard during a high-stakes wireframe presentation for a fintech app, checkout flows, friction reduction, conversion funnels. My wrist buzzed with 3 sharp pulses and a long vibration, a pattern I had reserved for only one thing. Critical alerts. I froze mid-gesture, red marker hovering in the air. This wasn't a standard motion alert. Those were muted during work hours. This was a Zone 4 breach, master bedroom, a room that, according to the geo-fencing logs I reviewed over breakfast, should have been empty for the next 4 hours. "Elena," my boss Marcus asked from the head of the table, "you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." "1 second," I said calmly, though my heart slammed against my ribs. I glanced down, motion detected location, master bedroom duration, 12 minutes sensor, internal P02. I lived in a digital fortress. My home in the Seattle Hills wasn't just smart. It was architected, voice-activated, biometric, redundantly networked across Zigbee and Z-Wave. I wrote the code myself, no movement without a log, no presence without a sensor spike, and at 11:14 a.m., no one was supposed to be there. My husband Mark's calendar synced to our family dashboard because he forgot everything. Showed him hosting an exclusive open house in Bellevue until 2:00 p.m. I was downtown. I pulled out my phone, authenticated, bypassed the standard app, and tunneled into the private VPN I'd built into the house. Master bedroom camera, east wall, the feed buffered, then it went live, 4K resolution, crystal clear. Sunlight through sheer curtains, dust motes floating, laundry I'd folded that morning on the armchair. And Mark in our bed, not charming buyers, not selling anything, and he wasn't alone. A woman straddled him. Platinum blonde hair, professionally dyed, expensive. She wore nothing but a diamond necklace I didn't recognize. I did recognize her, Chloe, his 24-year-old marketing intern. The one who needed mentoring. The one I'd bought coffee for. The one I defended. They weren't discussing marketing. Mark laughed his polished, camera-ready laugh. He pulled her down and kissed her with more passion than he'd shown me in 2 years. He looked happy, free. My heart didn't break. That's the thing about being a systems architect. When something fails, you don't cry. "You debug, I'm sorry," I said to the room, capping the marker. "There's a security breach at my home. I need to initiate containment. Should I call the police?" Marcus asked. "Something like that," I replied, already packing my laptop. "Someone's stealing my life." I walked out. Not fast, not loud, with the precise calm of someone who knows exactly where the bodies are buried because she dug the graves herself. Mark thought he'd turned off the cameras. The red LED was dark. He forgot one thing. I wrote the firmware. The switch only disabled the light. The feed still routed through a hidden daemon that bypassed the dashboard. He was a user. I was the admin. Who I am, my name is Elena Vance. I'm 32. I design user experiences. I anticipate human desire and build invisible pathways that guide behavior. I grew up in chaos, a gambler father. An artist mother. We lost our house when I was 12. I learned early, luck is a lie, code doesn't lie. I met Mark 5 years ago at a tech mixer. He had charisma, vision, a terrible app idea. I made it work. I automated his business, built his CRM, optimized his SEO, created scrapers, alerts, drip campaigns. I made him successful, and I made one fatal mistake. I trusted a high-level user without an audit trail. The logs I didn't drive home. I drove to a cafe near our house, Binary Brew, pulled up the dashboard. Occupancy sensors, 2 temperature, 72, 4 degrees F playlist, our honeymoon mix that was the line. I opened the logs. 6 months, 23 entries, dates, durations, CO2 spikes, smart bed weights. The fridge logs showed wine, strawberries, whipped cream. Photos confirmed it. My wine, my food, my robe. I felt no rage, only clarity, a 0-day exploit. I opened automations. Routine name, Project Exorcism V1. 0 containment action 1. Lock all exits. Revoke user permissions. Engage child. Safety lock. Action 2, drop temperature to 45 degrees F. Dehumidify, direct vents at bed. Action 3, strobe lights, emergency blue and red. Privacy glass disabled. Action 4, audio capture, amplify, broadcast. Then I heard it. She's like sleeping with a calculator. I recorded it. Cleaned it, looped it, whole. House, exterior speakers, full volume. The audience Mark lived on perception. So I emailed his VIP clients, urgent, change of venue, exclusive showcase at my private residence, live demonstration. Champagne served, doors open 12:15 p.m. Then I executed the routine, lights flashed, his own voice filled the house. He screamed at Alexa, the door wouldn't open, the temperature dropped, and 30 minutes later cars arrived. At 12:12 p.m., the first car pulled into the driveway, a black Mercedes G-Wagon. I recognized it instantly. Mrs. Vanderpegel, wife of a billionaire software founder, avid collector of waterfront properties, and the most efficient rumor distribution system in the Seattle Highlands. If information entered her orbit, it exited at light speed. She stepped out, phone in hand, scanning the house with visible confusion. Then came a Tesla Model X, then a Range Rover, then another Mercedes. Within 5 minutes, 8 luxury vehicles lined the driveway like a private auto show. People gathered on the porch, murmuring, checking emails, intrigued by the bass thumping faintly through the walls. That music seems aggressive, someone said. I thought this was an atmosphere demo, Mrs. Vanderpegel replied, peering through the glass. Mark said this house was the future. I opened the Ring intercom and modulated my voice, calm, neutral, professional. Not Alina, an assistant, welcome. Mark is currently demonstrating advanced privacy and acoustic isolation protocols. Please proceed to the second floor. I unlocked the door. Curiosity beat caution. They entered. The house amplified everything, the echo of footsteps, the pulsing bass, Mark's voice looping endlessly. She's like sleeping with a calculator. She's like sleeping with a calculator. Is that Mark? A man asked. It sounds like him. Someone else said. Very rhythmic. They followed the flashing red and blue light leaking from under the master bedroom door like a containment breach. Inside the bedroom, Mark heard them. Footsteps, voices. He thought it was the police. Help. He screamed, pounding the door. The system's broken. We're trapped. Mark. Mrs. Vanderpegel called gently from the hallway. Are you in there? We're here for the showcase. Silence. Then panic. Oh God. No, don't open it. Please, this isn't. Just call a locksmith. I spoke again through the hallway speakers. Observe distress simulation mode. Notice how the system maintains integrity under panic conditions. Phones came out. Every single one. I waited. I waited until everyone was recording. Then I released the locks. The deadbolt disengaged with a heavy mechanical clack. The door swung open, strobe lights pulsed, Arctic air poured out. Chloe stood half, hidden behind a pillow, mascara streaked, wrapped in a damp sheet like a crime scene prop. Mark stood frozen, barefoot, pale, eyes blown wide with terror, and his voice still echoed at full volume. She's like sleeping with a calculator. No one spoke. Mrs. Vanderpegel adjusted her glasses. She surveyed the room once, clinically. Well, she said, voice ice cold, the security system is impressive, but the staging needs work. She turned and walked away. The rest followed, whispering, laughing, filming, uploading by 2:00 p.m. Disco Mark was trending locally. By 4:00 p.m., his brokerage scrubbed his profile, but the real damage was still compiling. The forensics that evening, Sam called. Elena, he said, serious now. This isn't just an affair. He sent a secure link. Inside, shell companies, fake invoices, wire transfers. Mark had created Vance and Associates Interiors, a fake staging firm. He billed clients for services never performed and siphoned money from our joint account. Payments funded Chloe's apartment, her car, her consulting fees, $142 over 18 months, crypto wallets, hidden commissions. This is embezzlement. Patricia said when I forwarded everything, I'm freezing his assets tonight. By morning, Mark couldn't buy coffee. The deposition 6 weeks later, Mark sat across from me in a sterile conference room. No Rolex, no glow. Just a wrinkled suit and hollow eyes. You hacked me, he said. You ruined my life. I audited a system I built and owned. I replied calmly. You agreed to the terms. You locked me in a room. The child's safety lock engaged during a system anomaly. I said. Proving intent will be difficult. Patricia slid a binder across the table. Let's discuss the $142,000, she said smoothly. And the crypto wallet under your garage floorboard. Mark deflated. What do you want? He whispered. Everything, Patricia replied. The house, the assets, the keys, the apology. Mark signed. The reset. I kept the house. Then I wiped it. Every device, every sensor, every credential. New fiber, new kernel, biometric, only access. Zero trust. I founded Secure Her, forensic, grade security for women reclaiming control. We don't sell gadgets. We sell administration. Years later, 5 years on, Secure Her is national, 300 employees. Evaluation Mark could never imagine. When my assistant buzzed me one afternoon, Elena, there's a man here, no appointment, name. Mark Vance, he looked 50. I need a job, he said. I don't hire vulnerabilities. I replied. I slid a tablet across the desk. You're our primary case study. Security escorted him out. Blacklist updated. Final state that night. Motion detected. Home office, Sam. Wine, pizza, grin. All clear. I closed the laptop. If you think this went too far, remember this. Your life is already a system. If you don't control it, someone else will. The logs never lie. The administrator always wins. The house was quiet again. Not the awkward quiet of something broken, but the clean silence of a system returned to baseline, temperature steady at 68 degrees. Humidity balanced, lights warm amber, 2,700 K, no music. I sat alone in the living room, laptop open, reviewing logs the way some people reread old messages. The strobe routines were gone, the audio loop deleted, no artifacts left behind that mattered. Revenge is messy. Resolution is elegant. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt finished. Like a developer who has completed a brutal migration, deprecated the old architecture, patched the vulnerabilities, and finally shut down a legacy system that had been leaking memory for years. The deposition 6 weeks later, Mark sat across from me under fluorescent lights that hummed like a failing transformer. He looked smaller. The man who once sold dreams now struggled to sell credibility. His tan was gone. His confidence evaporated. The suit he wore was cheap, ill-fitting, and nervous. You hacked me, he said again, like repeating it might make it true. I audited. I corrected. You consented. You broadcast my private life. You weaponized shared infrastructure. I said calmly. You assumed the admin wouldn't check the logs. Patricia leaned forward, voice smooth, lethal. Let's discuss the shell company. Mark's lawyer whispered frantically, already knowing they were finished. Transfers, MAC addresses, geolocation pings. The silence afterward was complete. What do you want? Mark asked, voice cracking. Patricia didn't hesitate. The house, all liquid assets, crypto keys, a notarized apology. Mark looked at me then not with anger, but with disbelief. He searched for the woman who used to stay up late fixing his spreadsheets, adjusting the lighting before he came home, smoothing his life so he could pretend it was effortless. He didn't find her. He found the admin. Sign. I said, sliding the papers across the table. He did. The reset. I stripped the house digitally to the studs. Factory reset. New kernel. No shared passwords. No trusted users. Every action required biometric authentication or a cryptographic key held only by me. Physically, too. Electromagnetic strikes rated at 0 pounds of force. No thumb turns, no convenience modes. This wasn't paranoia, it was clarity. Trust isn't assumed, it's verified. Secure Her, I built a company from the wreckage. Secure Her, we don't sell cameras, we sell control. We audit networks, find hidden air tags, expose spyware. Reclaim digital identities. We teach women how to be administrators of their own lives. No more guessing who has access. No more silent permissions granted out of love. No more undocumented users running shadow processes in your home. Business exploded. Word travels fast when justice is efficient. The gift one afternoon, a notification buzzed. Motion detected. Front porch. A courier left a wooden crate. Inside, vintage limited edition Chardonnay. A note from Mrs. Vanderpegel to the woman who knows how to bug a life. The Ridgeview Protocol is now standard in all my properties. I poured a glass. Checked occupancy, one occupant, me, perfect. 5 years later, secure her is national now. 300 employees. Valuation north of what Mark's old brokerage ever dreamed of. I was finishing a board meeting when my assistant buzzed. Elena, there's a man here. No appointment, says it's a legacy issue. Name, Mark Vance. I hesitated. Then curiosity won. Send him in. He looked 50, hair thin, suit polyester, a man crushed daily by consequences. I need a job, he said. I can't get hired anywhere. I studied him. I don't hire vulnerabilities, I said. You're our primary case study. His face flushed purple. That's cruel. No, I replied. It's efficient. Security escorted him out. Blacklist updated. Final state that night. Motion detected. Home office. Sam stood there with wine and pizza, grinning. All clear. I closed the laptop. If you think this went too far, understand this. Your life is already a system. Your phone, your bank, your home. If you don't control the network, someone else will. Mark thought I was just hardware. He forgot something critical. Tools don't write the code. Architects do. The logs never lie. The sensors are always watching. And the administrator always has the final word.